Hey guys, welcome back. In this week's video, we are spotlighting some farmers market vendors that I found while I was in Charleston, South Carolina. Now this clip, you can actually see the farmers market from my hotel room, and it was located in a park, and I think this was like the downtown Charleston area, not far from King Street if you're familiar. But it was a huge farmers market. You can see it kind of was like an L shape. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the amazing vendors that were popping up at this particular farmers market. And this video is really going to be great for you if you are getting ready to pop up at any kind of vendor event, or more specifically, it could be a farmers market, and you want some inspiration for your booth setup. Now this is an olive vendor. My husband did end up purchasing some olives from that vendor. He's obsessed with olives, so it was no surprise there. But we've got sourdough vendors here and all sorts of creative, fun vendors selling all sorts of products. I think this section had more food vendors, but there are a bunch of non-food vendors selling different gifts and knickknacks that I'll share in a few minutes. And then I actually did capture a couple of clips of produce vendors that I saved for the very end of the video. So if you want to take a look at those, feel free to jump to that. I found the most adorable tote bag that I ended up purchasing from the vendor I'm about to share a clip of. And if you are interested in finding another product to sell at your farmer's market, I would consider selling some sort of tote bag that has the name of the farmer's market on it if there's another vendor at your farmer's market that already does that, because I thought it was adorable. I go to a lot of farmer's markets and pop-ups, so I'm glad to have a bag like that to kind of represent, you know, my love for farmer's markets, and I'll definitely be bringing it to my next farmer's market that I go to. So something cute to consider selling as, like, you know, if you have a main type of product, like here we're seeing a vendor that sells flowers, or you could sell accessories or a type of food, and then have that as a little gift item, you know, the name of your town and then farmer's market. I think that would be really cute. Just my 2 cents. Next up we have some more food vendors, and eventually we'll get to some of the more gift item vendors. Low Country Lemonade, I think that's a cute name. Of course, South Carolina is known for being in what's considered the Low Country. And there are a couple of food trucks here. If you've ever been interested in taking a look at food truck vendors, I do have a dedicated video that spotlights a bunch of amazing food truck vendors. And in addition to that, I have spotlight videos on a ton of different product categories for farmers markets and pop-ups, craft fairs. So I've got spotlight videos on products like accessories. I've got clothing store pop-up vendor booths. I've got kids and baby style products, as well as soap, skincare. I've created so many, I'm almost drawing a blank, but I'll share a list with you guys. And if there's any specific type of product that you want me to spotlight next, feel free to let me know in the comments, because I'm happy to create more videos spotlighting different products. I've got an artwork spotlight video, and I've also got bakery goods. So just let me know if there's a certain type of product that I haven't gotten to yet that you'd be interested in. I'm thinking I kind of want to do honey vendors next, so I need to make sure I have enough clips of honey vendors. I could consider, I think I've had a request for a purse vendor before, so that could be something I consider as well. And there's so many amazing vendors out there. So just let me know if there's something you're looking for. In this particular video, like I said, I'm trying to capture the wide variety of vendors, and I attempted to get more close-up shots of these vendors as opposed to, you know, further back capturing the whole tent, because I have gotten feedback before that people are interested in zoomed in versions of these inspiration videos so they can get a better sense of the products themselves and how these vendors display the products. But sometimes it's hard to do when I'm trying to capture all of these vendors. It's just, it's hard because people are often shopping and I don't want to interrupt them, of course. But let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer to look at the booth as a whole, more zoomed out, so you can see the tent and the signage, or do you prefer the close-ups of the actual products and just how they display them? Let me know. Definitely open to feedback there. Kind of did a combination here, I feel like, but I don't really feel like I zoomed in too much with this video. So something I could definitely consider making an effort to do next time. And on this particular day, you'll notice it's kind of overcast. There's definitely a threat of rain all day, but it did not end up pouring, at least when I was at the farmer's market, and I don't think it poured most of the morning, so that was definitely good for all of the shoppers and vendors. That's probably a reason that it's so important to have a great quality tent, to make sure that you, as a vendor, don't have your products ruined. But what other things you can notice from these vendors are their beautiful signs, and I would definitely encourage you to think about what stands out to you. Which booths stand out to you? You know, is it their color palette that draws you in? Is it the way they are displaying the products? Or is it their sign, which has a good way for you to know which store you're shopping from? Or maybe they have links to their social media. I would definitely encourage you to think about what's standing out to you. If you were a shopper at this vendor event, or I should say farmer's market, which booths would draw you in and which ones would you want to purchase from? And the reason I want you to think about that is because when you are creating your own vendor booth, you can give that some thought as you are determining how to display your own products and creating your signs, creating your overall visual style, you know, what colors you're using, what draws you in, what stands out to you. Maybe you can get some inspiration from that perspective with this event. You'll notice that some of the vendors have more neutral color palettes, some of them are more colorful, some of them have more signs than others. I mean, people get really creative with these vendor events, and personally, I love seeing how, you know, everyone has their own take on creating an inviting environment to sell their products. So I think it's always super fun to see vendors from all over the world, not just all over the country. I have created some vendor videos from some vendor events in Asia, if you want to check those out. Alright, before we move on to the produce vendors though, I do want to do a quick plug for my app that I'm creating and launching later this fall that's going to make it so much easier for you as a vendor to find vendor events and sign up for them. And the best part about the app is that it's going to help you read reviews about the vendor event so you know whether it's going to be a good fit for your store's business based off of the reviews of vendors who have attended that event in the past. So it's going to make it easier for event organizers to find vendors as well. And I will link to it down in the description bar below. So definitely check it out and get on the wait list. So you will be one of the first folks who can sign up for that when it's ready to go. But with that, let's take a look at the produce vendors quickly. And here we see a lemonade stand next to a produce vendor. And we're going to take a look at all of the yummy produce. This particular produce vendor also sells plants, which is kind of fun. I think it's nice to offer you know, maybe you have a main product category, but you also sell something else on the side just to kind of expand your target audience. And it's interesting to see how all of the vendors display produce. You know, some of them use nice baskets, others use more, I want to say like crate style boxes. It's interesting to see like all of the tablecloths that are used. Do they decorate the tent or the booth, or do they keep it more minimal? I feel like for the most part with produce vendors, they tend to lean a little bit more on the minimal side than a lot of the other product categories. But some vendors, you know, if they know that there's going to be other vendors selling the same type of products, or same types of produce, I should say, they might try to stand out, like with a fun tablecloth like you're seeing in this one. So I think it's just kind of interesting to kind of compare. And this is a different vendor. I think they ran out of a lot of the food they were selling, which is why those two tables were more on the empty side. And I think they were selling lemonade as well. This one, I love the branding on their truck. That kind of stood out to me, which is of course why I captured it in this clip. And I think it's a fun way to, you know, brand your booth. And I'm sure as they're driving around town, you know, people might start to recognize their truck as well. And let's see. Lots and lots of vendors. So yeah, I think that was the last clip. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next inspiration vendor video. I have lots of tips and tricks for actually selling products as well, so definitely take a look at my channel and see if there's anything that stands out to you that you want to spend some more time learning about. But with that, I'll see you guys later.